Welcome to Breaking Ground, the Women in Leadership podcast. This is a show that lifts the voices, journeys, and insights of women shaping the future of architecture, engineering, and construction, and it's brought to you by Unanet. Unanet delivers expert project-based ERP solutions, CRM solutions, and an AI growth suite built specifically for AEC. At our core, we believe that a strong, diverse workforce drives innovation and success, and that women are essential to building the future of AEC. I'm your host, Sarah Brown, and in each episode, we connect with professionals across the AEC industry to share real stories and hard-earned wisdom. This is more than a conversation. It is a community focused on growth and impact. Let's get started. So today with us at Champions Conference, we have Mary Boyd. Hello, Mary.
Hi, Sarah.
And I'm going to read a little bit about her. Mary is the president of Outsourced Accounting Services, a firm she founded in 2010 that specializes in ERP consulting and outsourced accounting for architecture and engineering firms. With over 40 years of experience, Mary has worked in nearly every facet of AEC accounting and consulting, giving her a deep and practical understanding of both the financial and operational sides of these businesses. She's known for her commitment to her clients, team, and always focusing on delivering the best solutions and helping others succeed. Her leadership style is grounded in hard work, accountability, and a genuine dedication to developing both people and processes. Mary holds a Bachelor of Science in Accounting from the University of Maryland University College and is originally from Maryland. Today she resides in Florida, and she leads with a philosophy inspired by Brené Brown, that leadership is about taking responsibility for finding the potential in people and having the courage to develop it. Mary, I'm a big fan of Brené Brown and of you, and we're very excited to have you on the podcast today.
Thank you for having me. I'm very honored.
You are very welcome. And we always kick off our episodes with a little bit of an icebreaker. So we're going to play a game, and it's called This or That. So I'm going to mention a couple items, coffee or tea, and all you do is tell me your preference.
Okay.
But this is a counting version, okay? So, audit season or tax season?
Audit season.
Okay. Accounting fun. Do you prefer strategizing, forecasting the future like a crystal ball, or explaining last month's surprise purchases?
Oh, it's a little of both.
Yeah.
So I have to pick one?
No, you can say both if you like. Okay. This one's a little bit nerdy, if you will, if you have a preference either way. A one-page executive summary or the 52-tab backup file behind it.
Oh, definitely the 52
Right?
tab backup file
If you
behind
really
it.
love accounting, that actually, you're like, yes,
Yeah,
I can't wait to dig into that. Okay, fixing processes so problems don't happen, or being the hero who fixes them at the last minute. I feel like I know the answer to this one.
Yeah, so it's the first one, the
Fixing
setting up
them,
processes.
yep.
Process never has a bad day.
Nope, getting it right, the workflow right the first time.
Absolutely.
Okay, last one. Clean books on the first pass, or the thrill of hunting down a .03 variance.
Oh, get it right the first time again. Oh, nobody likes looking for those pennies.
No, we totally get that. Well, thanks. That's the game. That was it.
That was amazing.
Right? It was fun. Okay, so our audience can get to know a little bit about you. Can you tell us a little bit about you personally and professionally, a short bio?
Yeah, so my career started when I was still in high school. I kept the books for my brother on my dining room table while I was still in high school. He was an electrical contractor. From there, I worked my way through college working in an architecture firm. Originally thought that I wanted to go into public accounting, but by the time I graduated, I was on a really good career path and I loved what I was doing. So I've never left this industry, working on our client side of the desk for many, many years before I became a consultant. In 2004, I became a consultant under the Deltek umbrella, implementing Deltek Vision for clients. In 2008, 2009, the industry took a little bit of a downturn, and the Deltek partner that I was working for was sold to a larger Deltek partner. They took the clients and not the consultants. So at that point, I came across a company called Clearview and Focus, which is the predecessor to Unanet AE. And so I looked into developing a partnership with them, and I did become a partner, and hung out my own shingle in 2010. And from there, which is the predecessor to Unanet AE. So I am now a Unanet AE partner. And my little firm of one that I started in 2010 has now grown to a very solid and very impressive team of 17.
Very impressive. Very
Thanks.
impressive. So, you kind of mentioned a few pivot points in your career there, not necessarily out of industry, but just a different direction.
Yeah.
And I can imagine that starting your own firm from the ground up, you probably got a lot of curveballs in that learning process of starting your own company and growing it. Was there one curveball in particular that really caught you by surprise that you were able to navigate through?
So what's coming to mind is just, sometimes you have an implementation that doesn't really go very well. A lot of times it's because the client is not invested enough or thinks it's going to be easier. So I think learning over the career to try to set clear expectations up front of what an implementation means. And again, back to process, right? You have to put in a process that the client can understand and follow so that they can ultimately be successful.
I think that's a great answer. And I feel like you must have learned a lot through different customer relationships, different styles, different ways to respond or to set those expectations out the gate of kind of best practices to share with your team, that a lot of them do that now for you with customers, to be able to rinse and repeat those successful implementations, which creates success across the board in the industry for our customers.
Yeah, and every client's different, so you do have to be flexible.
Yep.
But having, process standardization really helps as you're growing a team.
Absolutely. Love that. Okay, next question. As a leader in the AEC space, you've navigated an industry that traditionally has been male-dominated while also helping firms modernize how they operate. I'm curious, how has your perspective as a woman in leadership influenced the way you approach financial systems and decision-making? And have tools like Unanet's ERP and CRM played a role in helping you or your clients drive efficiency and growth in that environment?
Yeah, so I think the best answer to that is that you have to kind of mesh clarity, the financial clarity, with cooperation and teamwork, so that everybody is invested in having good, solid foundation in their ERP that ultimately drives business success.
Excellent. Love that. Lastly, is there, we ask this question of all of our guests, is there one line of advice that you'd like to leave our listeners today?
Yeah, so I think that, when I had that pivot right before I started the company, I had someone tell me not to try to hang out my own shingle, that it's a very competitive business and I wouldn't be successful, which just gave me more motivation to be successful. So I think my advice would be never let anybody tell you that you can't do something.
I think that will resonate across the board. I know it will. And I feel like as a woman in business, and really in many industries, I personally have had a similar reaction. Just, in high school, looking at colleges and all the things, I was an A-B student, but it didn't come naturally to me to get A's. I had to work very, very hard for the A's and B's. And I went to a counselor and I said, this is the school I want to go into. It was the #1 school in the country for what I wanted to get into. And she said, my job is to guide students and you're not going to get into that school.
Oh.
And I had been working since I was 14 in that industry. And initially I felt very disheartened because you want confidence from people you look up to or people around you to create support. Everyone naturally wants more support in a direction they're going that they know is challenging. But I still filled out that application. And the day I got that, thick envelope in the mail that was a yes, it really set a precedent for you have to keep going.
Yeah.
And even if it had been a no, you're going to achieve so much more in the confidence in yourself and doing it anyway, doing it scared, doing it with lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
Doing
Without risk, there's no reward, right? So take the risk and go for it.
Love that. Well, thank you so much for being on our podcast today. And thank you, listeners, for tuning in to Breaking Ground. If today's episode resonates with you, be sure to follow, leave a review, put a thumbs up, like, and please share it with someone in your network. And as always, thank you for breaking new ground.